Hello everyone, and happy Halloween. Okay, it's not Halloween officially, because tonight, well, it is Halloween day, so whatever. But there's something that I'm going to do this Halloween that I'm probably going to do every, hopefully, Halloween this upcoming years, is that I'm going to make a video recommending 5 movies, essentially, to watch for the Halloween season. And hopefully I may do that for Christmas this year. I don't know for sure, but maybe I will. I don't know. But without further ado, let this list start. The first horror movie that I'd like to recommend to watch on Halloween is, of course, the found footage classic, The Blair Witch Project. Now, I'm just going to give, with every single of these movies I'm going to recommend, give my quick little sense on them and why you should watch them on Halloween. The Blair Witch Project is essentially, to me, and many people, the very first, well, not first, but it's the one that really has brought found footage horror, the shaky horror camera thing, to the modern cinema. Why so many films now do that, like Quarantine, Blair Witch, like Quarantine, Paranormal Activity, The Last Exorcism, and so many more. But the Blair Witch Project is truly a good one to watch because A, it's very much the foundation, it's very much the catalyst for found footage movies, and with the relation to horror movies in general, it's something to really put in the genre as a real standout, as a one that may have been a big catalyst, like I said before, for found footage movies. And this one, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, recommend to you. It would definitely be one of the most frightening and claustrophobic horror movies I've ever seen. Blair Witch Project is something to definitely not to miss, and I would love to recommend to watch it on the Halloween season. Voila! My second choice is going to be the classic 70s blockbuster itself, Jaws. This is the original Steven Spielberg blockbuster classic, and a lot of you may be saying, Jaws is a horror movie? Yes, it is. Just because it's based in summer doesn't mean it's a Halloween movie. It's a horror movie. It's a horror thriller about a couple tragedies around a couple of killings, and these couple of men go to sea to find the son of a bitch and kill it. It is terrifying. The Jaws itself is a fucking 25-foot long horrific great white shark. It's terrifying. And granted, I've never been afraid of sharks. Excuse me, I just woke up. But still, the tension and the suspense and the very true real idea of practicality and less is more, same thing with Blair Witch Project, is so much more frightening. And with that little idea of what's going on, can fill in the gaps. Your head essentially fills in the gaps, and that gives you much more fear to fear a shark that you don't know much about, rather than some, I don't know, something else that's probably not as terrifying. The third movie I'm going to recommend for Halloween is an all-time classic. Well, actually, these next 3 are essentially all-time horror movie classics. But here's the one a lot of people say is the one that's scariest of them all. I don't know if I can agree with those people. But third movie I'm going to recommend is The Exorcist. Of course, the number 1 classic. A lot of people say it's the number 1 horror movie of all time. It definitely will be. It's probably within my top 5 itself. The Exorcist is just a really, really well done story for a movie, with just pitting this poor little girl, being put in this position of this demonic demise, just essentially attacking her, and all these the 2 priests trying to get her out. And this really does set the mood and tone for Halloween of just the more stakes of what's going on, the devil-related material. I don't know. God, I feel stupid right now. But nevertheless, it's a true classic for its own sake, and it's one of the most credential horror movies to watch. If you've seen horror movies, if you like horror movies, and you've never seen The Exorcist, then fucking see The Exorcist. It's pretty much the top dog of the horror genre. it's the number one movie we recommend. As it's essentially like the Wizard of Oz of horror movies. If you haven't seen it, for fuck's sake, watch it. You're seriously missing out. Now, calm down. My last two are actually among my top 10 favorite films of all time. And that made me really chuckle. Like, wow. But yes. And my fourth movie I'd like to recommend is, for me at least, the most terrifying. It may not be my personal favorite, but it's the most terrifying I've watched. And it is the 70s classic, Alien. Alien is a claustrophobic, tension-filled, suspense thriller slasher in space. This movie, same thing with Jaws, same thing with Blair Witch Project. The build-up, like the first probably hour, I'd say, of this film, is nothing but build-up. And I love that. It's so smart. It has such good, clever directing, slow builds, slow directional pulls, so many clever characters and natural dialogue that it gives us so much fear and anxiety and shock when all the shit happens and the xenomorph right here attacks and kills almost all of them, except Sigourney Weaver, because she survives, of course. There's so many shitloads of sequels now. But it's a classic, but it's alright. It stands the test of time of one of the most influential horror movies. Its practicality is wonderful. The tension, the suspense, and the atmosphere is unmatched, in my opinion. And it's among one of the greatest films I've ever seen, personally speaking. Now, you may ask, well, what do I prefer, Alien or Aliens? I actually preference both. I think they perfectly complement each other. Alien is slow. It's psychological. It's thrilling. It gets into your head. Aliens is much more kick-ass. It's much more bombastic. It's much more of an action movie than a horror movie. Even though it is still, Aliens is still classified as a horror movie, it's more action-wise than a horror movie. In the end, not over on Aliens. Alien is probably the most horrifying and scariest movie, in my opinion, I've ever seen. Check it out. Fucking check it out. If you haven't, what is wrong with you? I don't know. There's probably nothing wrong with you. You just haven't seen it, really. There's nothing wrong with that, really. Now, the last, and like I said with these last two here, of course, this is among one of my top 10 film movies of all time, and that is quite really saying something, but I could just go on forever about this movie, but let's just show you it. And it is Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is a film that I consider that has changed me. Films have influenced me in a not good way. Films have influenced me in a good way. Lord of the Rings changed me for good when it comes to film. Fantasia changed me. Star Wars, so many other films. Jurassic Park changed me. But this is a film that changed me psychologically. It's, I think, for at least every decade, there is a psychological film that will change you. Like, 70s, that was A Clockwork Orange. 80s, I don't know. It could have been, I'm thinking it's probably Nightmare on Elm Street. 90s, it is Silence of the Lambs. 2000s, what the fuck? Oh, Whack, probably. I can go on forever talking about why I love this film, but I'll summarize them in a few things. Number one, the suspense and thrills are very, very clever. They keep it to a very little minimum, and they keep the intrigue, the fascination, and the lore very, very well done within the movie. Also, the acting is excellent. Even though it only has two big leads, Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster, they play the roles phenomenally. Jodie Foster is so vulnerable, and she's so scared at times, but you still feel for her. You feel that there's this sense of strength and resiliency with her. Excuse me. And Anthony Hopkins probably plays, in my opinion, the most famous movie killer aside from Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. Hannibal Lecter. I love this character. He's so brilliant. He's so malicious. He's so diabolically clever. And he's that person you want to like. You want this person to be on your side. You don't know what he's going to say. He's so creepy, so suspenseful. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Top 10. Again, another. Excuse me, top 10. This is among my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I love horror movies, and there's some I may be missing, but those may be coming next Halloween. I know you have to wait another 365 days to see that. But in the end, everyone, I really hope you enjoyed my videos. My video here today of me recommending 5 horror movies to watch on Halloween. Blair Witch Project, the found footage movie that we all gotta watch on Halloween. Jaws, like I said before with Blair Witch, simplicity at its finest. The Exorcist, brilliant build-up, brilliant payoff. Aliens, the classic suspense psychological thriller. And Silence of the Lambs, the classic thriller suspense shock movie that keeps you going endless. And in the end, those are 5 horror movies that I would love to recommend to all of you. Check them out here on Halloween. Maybe you should have gotten these sometime earlier. Hopefully you'll have more time to get these before you go and celebrate Halloween. In the end, everyone, thank you for watching and have a happy Halloween. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you sometime soon after Halloween. Thank you till then, and have a happy Halloween. Bye.